Okay, this is for week 4, day 3. This is the last set of notes for this week, or for the chapter even. And so in this one we're going to talk about print versus println on your notes, and I can't remember what page that is, but let's see. So that would be page 9. That's the last page of notes. So here we go. We got print versus println. Now this is going to be useful as you go on. So let's take system.out.print and then hello. So we are used to using println, but now we're going to introduce just print. So what does this mean? Well, what this means is it'll actually print hello, and then what will happen is when it's done printing, the insertion point will then stay on that line right here. The insertion point will be right there. So the next thing that prints will go right after the O. That's what it does. And so let's go and see what this says. So it means print hello, and then the insertion point stays on the same line right after the O. Next thing that prints will go right after the O. So system.out.print 1, 2, 3, and then .print 4, 5, 6. What is that going to print? Well, what's going to happen is this first line is going to print 1, 2, and then 3. And then the insertion point stays on that line. So it's right at the 3. And so the next thing that prints is the 4. And so since the insertion point is right there at the 3, then the 4 are going to print right after that. So then 5 and 6. So what's happening here, and then technically the insertion point after it's done with the 6 will be right here. So this is a way to print one line using 2 print statements. And you might say, well, why would we do that? Well, there's situations that are going to arise where we're going to want to do that. And so that's something that we'll deal with later. But for right now, just know that you can do, in order to get 2 things on, or 2 print statements to print on one line, you use the print instead of the println. So we will demonstrate this in just a second, but let's continue on. In JGrasp, use 2 print statements. Okay, so this would be something that you could practice to see if you can actually get that to work. So you would need 2 print statements using print, not println. The last one could be println, but the first one needs to be print. And you could split that up into 2 print statements. But we'll go ahead and move on. So how about ln? What about that? What does that mean? So ln, now this is not in, this is ln. ln means to move the insertion point. ln could stand for line. So it means move to the next line after doing the print. But remember, it prints first. You got to remember, it's going to print. See, the word print happens first. So it's going to print hello, and then the next thing that happens is the ln, which says go to the next line. So it's the same thing as saying, hey, print, then enter. Print, then press the enter key. This means to print hello and then move the insertion point to the beginning of the next line. So it would print hello, and then the insertion point, instead of staying right after the 0 like it did before, the insertion point then goes right here. And so anything else that prints is going to start printing on the next line down. That's all that happens. So system.out.println, you should try to figure out, well, what's that going to do? Well, it's going to go 1, 2, 3. And then it says ln, so we have to go move the insertion point down to the next line. And then the next thing it prints is a 4, 5, 6. So we go there, and we're going to print the 4, the 5, and the 6. All right, so that's how it works. And then here's the example of it. So here's print 1, 2, 3, println, and for 4, 5, 6. So we compile it, and then we run it. And so you notice it goes 1, 2, 3. The insertion point stays there because there's no ln after print, and then it prints the 4, 5, 6. Now, if we add the ln here, notice then that it's going to, after it prints the 1, 2, 3, then it goes down to the next line and then prints 4, 5, 6. That's all you need to know. So that's print versus println.